What is going on, guys? It is Austin Spice here with Talking with Spice, my first ever type of podcast video episode thing that I'm going to be doing. Starting up. Oh, yeah. This is the first ever one. I'm going to be, since this is going to be going over, I guess, my teams, because this is going to be a little more sports centered. I'm gonna be talking like basically sports on here, and what's going on with the teams that I watch and favor or whatever. Um, we'll still go over like other trending social media things that are going on, like if something happens and that's been big or whatever. Probably drop a couple movie reviews if I go see a big movie and maybe talk about it. Uh, Yeah, but yeah, it's mostly gonna be a sports podcast. So, let's just get straight into my teams. Obviously, the one is in the background, the Chicago Bulls. Um, they just finished their second preseason game yesterday. Their first one was on Tuesday. They looked a little sluggish. It is the first game, or first like scrimmage type, game before the season. So I guess take it with how it was. But last night they looked a lot better, especially defensively. They just looked a whole lot better. I think DeMar had like 20 some points. Vooch, I think, had like around 14, 15 points. Yeah, I can't remember. I know Zach had like 7 points. He wasn't. I think he was like. I don't know. I think he shot like 3 for 5 or 3 for 6 or something. He didn't really shoot a lot. Mostly because everyone was kind of scoring. There wasn't like a main guy. DeMar was for a bit, but we were all kind of going out crazy. But yeah, it looked a lot better, especially defensively. We looked like we were wanting to get to the ball and looked like we wanted to play defense more, which is good. I like to see that, especially with our new additions with Andre Drummond and Goran Dragic. Kind of just getting the chemistry up with those guys and trying to make something work. With Lonzo Ball being out, that's gonna hurt the Bulls a lot. They just can't figure ways to replace him because you really can't. You just got to figure a way to adapt almost and just be, as good or better. I think they're definitely a playoff team, no doubt about it. I don't think that's really biased, but I guess it might be because I think some ranking or projected record wise or whatever. I think it was ESPN or something. They had us, I guess, in 12th place. That's where they thought we were going to finish. I don't understand why we're doing this 2 years in a row because they did the same thing last year and thought we were going to be trash. And I don't know. The first half of the season, we were the best team in basketball. We were literally in first place in the Eastern Conference. I don't know about the West. I just know we were the best team in the East. And then obviously our injuries and COVID, and then we got all screwed up and never could find the rhythm back. Finished 6th place, played the Bucks, lost first round. It is what it is. I'll take it. Hopefully this year we do a lot better. Especially when it comes to the playoff time, we have to play better. Our playoff performance was not great all around. But it was nice to get the guys' feet wet, especially Zach with his first ever, playoff appearance last year. Patrick Williams' first, obviously. Kobe's first, obviously. They're new to the game. I think DeMar and Vooch, I don't know if Vooch made it with the Magic, but I think those guys were really the only. Derek Jones Jr. might have played in a playoff game before. Um, but yeah, but fairly most of our team it was like almost their first time or first series of playing. So it was nice to get the feet wet. Hopefully this year we do a lot better when it comes playoff time. Um, yeah, we're only 2 preseason games in. We got 2 more to go, and then we got the 82 game schedule. So it's gonna be a while. But we'll find. We'll see what happens, and hopefully they, do good. The most pressured Chicago Bull player I probably think is Patrick Williams. I think that's pretty obvious if you're a Bulls fan or follow them at all. Um, Patrick Williams has been compared to Kawhi Leonard. Their body type and their ability, they both have long arms. They both have big hands. Or both play really good defense. So because you guys know how comparisons work. There's always someone being compared to someone. Um, but Kawhi Leonard is a pretty good, realistic comparison for him. He just needs to hit that threshold to show it, I guess, more. Because if I feel like he has kind of a bad season, they might trade him at trade deadline for with a package of Kobe and try to get something to make a playoff push, or they might wait until the end of the year and do something. I don't really know. But he really needs to kind of do something this year. Obviously, Zach and DeMar are going to average around 20, 22 plus at least minimum. They should not be below. Vooch is going to get his. It's probably going to be around 10 to 15 a night. And then Patrick Williams kind of needs to be there as well, around 8 to 10 points a game. I don't really want to say 8. I want to be 9 to 11. He needs to be closer to 10. But he also needs a rebound. Rebounding and defense is what's going to, I think, kind of hold him here. Because we do need defense as the Chicago Bulls. Obviously, we have... Well, Lonzo's hurt, so that hurts us. But we have Io DeSumo playing at point guard. I haven't really seen much yet, but he's not really a defensive stopper. He's kind of just I don't really know what to call his ability, but he's pretty solid on offense. Kind of pushes the pace. He's got an okay shot. He's been getting better. But he's not really defensively great or anything. Then you got Zach LaVine, who's obviously an elite scorer. And he's getting better at defense as well. I'd say he's probably decent to solid a defender. He can hold his ground, but he's not a shutdown. Then you got DeMar, who's definitely not a shutdown defender, elite scorer again, but he can stand in front of someone. But he's gonna try to do his best to stop whoever. Then you got whether they start Javante or whether they start Patrick, those guys are more Javante's more of he's a 6'4" guard. He's a shooting guard. That's his actual should be position is the 2, and he's playing the 4. He's trying to play guys like Michael Porter Jr. and Aaron Gordon and stuff So it is impressive how he holds his ground. He does play really big. And I don't think I've ever seen him do that anywhere else. I don't think he's ever gotten that starting chance or ever played really much, except for when he came to the Bulls. And he's been great for us so far, especially this year. He seems to be pretty good, which is good. We need everything. We need everyone to step up and do their thing. Then you got Vooch, who's not really a defender. He can block it if it's right there. He can get blocks and he can get steals, but he's not an elite defender. I'd say he's probably solid or decent at least. Again, it's kind of all offense. And then when you come up with the bench, you got Goran Dragic. scoring. No, not really much of a defender there. Then you got Kobe White, not a defender, and you got uh, Alex Caruso. Um, and he's more of our defender, kind of like playmaker off the bench. Well, Dragic is a playmaker too. You kind of like the playmaker, the scorer, and then Caruso is more like that leadery defensive player. They call him the Cookie Monster for a reason. He's, always has a hand in everyone's faces. Um, and then if you add Patrick Williams to that second unit, and he starts to hit that threshold of being like a Kawhi Leonard type, he could make a huge mark as the second team, and especially offensively when everyone goes out and it's just him and Kobe as like the scoring options. Like that's when I think that's best for the Chicago Bulls is starting Patrick with the second unit, at least for like the first week of basketball and see what it looks like. Then maybe switch it and see what another week looks like, and then you kind of will know what like the median range is almost like. I think he might be better coming off the bench. Not saying he shouldn't start because he is better than Javante, but it might be more efficient or might be better for the team that he does come off the bench. But who knows? They probably will start him no matter what. I know Billy Donovan, the coach, was even talking about switching it up. There's no, he's not setting tone. Okay, you're coming off the bench all year, but he's switching it up. So we'll see what happens. Their third game is on Tuesday, I believe, against the Raptors. So can't wait for that game. Our next team, North Carolina, basketball, football, and baseball. I follow all three. Obviously, baseball season's over. Basketball season doesn't really start till December. They did have their opening night last night. All the players came. They did like a scrimmage against each other. It's kind of like almost like a meet and greet almost. I don't think they actually like signed, like greeted them or anything. I don't really know. I didn't get to see it. I was watching the Bulls, but yeah, their season doesn't really start till December. I think first or second is when we play our first game. So we'll see. We'll talk about them more later on, I guess, and find out how they played. UNC football does play today. We played Miami. They're 2-2. They were ranked before the season started. It should be interesting to see how they play. UNC should win. Yeah, they should win. I mean, I don't know. But UNC's only problem is their defense. Obviously their defense is either young or just not good, whatever it may be. But I guess that's more kind of like college football. There's not really a lot of elite defending teams. Georgia might be like the best defending team. I don't really know, but other than that, like I feel like everyone else is pretty like solid, good, or okay, and they can play elite like on certain nights. But you know, yeah, we should win tonight. We'll see what happens. I think that game's at 4 o'clock today, so got a couple hours for that game. The New York Yankees. We'll go to the Yankees first. The New York Yankees are entering their postseason. They're going to. They got the bye with Houston. They both had the byes, and then you got Tampa Bay playing Cleveland. They're playing for in the wild card, and the winner of that will play the Yankees. And Seattle versus Toronto will play Houston. It's a best of three. We'll see what happens. Obviously, we won't know until next week because they're going through those 3 games this weekend. I'm assuming it might start around Tuesday, if I had to guess. Maybe Wednesday. I don't really know how much of a break they give until the next round. So we'll see what happens there. Aaron Judge, 62 home runs this year. Super impressive. Dude's a monster, and hopefully he brings that presence through the playoffs and we go win a World Series. Garrett Cole is now the franchise strikeout leader. I think he's at like 249,000 or something like that. Or maybe it's just 204. No, it's 249, not 249,000. Well, I don't know what I was. 249 or yeah, 249 strikeouts, I believe is the number. But he's the new strikeout leader for us. He's been pretty good. And then you got Nasty Cortez, also another all-star pitcher, starting pitcher. He's been pretty good too. Everyone else, it's really gonna come down to pitching. I think that's what it is for almost all the teams. I mean, we have Stanton, Judge. I don't know who else they're gonna play in the outfield because Benintendi's not back. I don't think not yet. I don't know if he's gonna be back in time or going to be playing at all. They did add Matt Carpenter to the playoff roster. They did say he's going to be there. I doubt they start him. They will probably start Harrison Bader, who's been really solid for us. We got him from the Cardinals at trade deadline. Didn't really get to play because he had that foot injury until later on. So he's been pretty solid so far. They might do Oswaldo Cabrera, one of the young prospects. He's been pretty solid. He's been pretty good. They'll probably start him, maybe left field or right, and have Stanton Judge, whatever. I don't know if they're keeping Oswaldo Pereza, as well on the roster. I didn't really look to see who our playoff, like, who's going to be there, but I think he's going to be there on the bench. DJ is back. DJ LeMayo's back. They got Josh Donaldson's been picking it up near the end of the year, so that's good. Hopefully he keeps it up. Anthony Rizzo, the stud. And then Gleyber Torres, who's also been hitting pretty better at the end of the year, so hopefully he keeps that up. Then IKF, the shortstop. Probably my third favorite player behind Judge and Rizzo on the Yankees. I don't know. It's just something about him, I guess. Something about him. But yeah, we got a pretty good roster offensively. Obviously, you got Trevino as a catcher. He was also an all-star. So, I mean, offensively, I'm not really worried unless we just go up there and stink it up. It's more of a pitching game. Like, your pitchers are going to have to come in and kind of, almost win the game. And if it comes to, batting, then, the batting needs to win the game. It's just, we'll see what happens. Obviously, we won't know until the next round. See who wins. I think Cleveland has the lead 1-0 over Tampa right now. They won 2-1 last night, and they play again tonight. If Cleveland wins, then we're playing Cleveland. If Tampa wins, then they go to game 3. So we'll see what happens. Yeah. I guess the Chicago Bears are next up on the list here of teams that are my teams. Chicago Bears 2-2 so far throughout the season. Before the season started, I did say they were going to be a 10-win team. I'm not backing down from that. I still think they can win 10 games. I know there's a lot of, I guess, things going around saying that the Bears might be looking into the wide receiver trade market to see who's in there and whatnot. I don't know if they're going to be looking at any kind of trades. I don't really know. Shut up, dog. Um, uh, yeah, we're 2-2 as of right now. I had them projected at least 2-2 at the start of the year when I made my 10-win prediction. But I thought they were gonna lose the first two and then win the last two. But they instead won first, lost, then won, then lost. So, you know, 2-2 no matter what now. In order for my prediction to be right, I mean, obviously we already lost to the Packers, but we have to split the Packers and Vikings games and sweep the Lions. I mean, we should sweep the Lions 2-0, but, you never know. Because that's what I had it at. We already lost to the Packers, so near the end of the year when they come to Soldier Field, gotta beat them. We play the Vikings today at Minnesota, I believe. Because next week, it's actually a short week for us. We play Thursday night against Washington. That'll be at Soldier Field. We'll get to present our all orange uniforms and helmets and stuff, so can't wait to see that. A lot of bad talk around Chicago right now. The Bears. A lot of fans are already done with him after 4 weeks of football, 4 games. It is so interesting when we talk, like, when they do, who was the best player of the week, and it's really just who was kind of the best player of the weekend. Like, there's only like a weekend of football. I mean, you have Thursday night, then you have Friday off, Saturday off, then you have Sunday, and then one Monday night game, or maybe two if they put two up there. But it's kind of just like a weird saying just a week because they don't really play a week of football. It's kind of like one day, everyone plays one day of football, and it's all within a weekend. So, but like, it is what it is. I don't really care, but yeah, a lot of people are already asking for Justin Fields' head after 4 weeks, 4 games, which to me is I almost want to say uncalled for, but it is what it is. People are gonna hate. People are gonna ask for your head on the chopping board when you're not playing like Patrick Mahomes. So yeah, a lot of projections going around, and thinking the Bears are going to be selecting Bryce Young. So far, or a different. I've seen a different quarterback as well. Like, it looks like they think the Bears are going to get a quarterback, and they might. They just might if this goes along. And we've definitely seen what pressure does to people. They might just select the quarterback, whoever the best one is at the time that they think it is in the draft, wherever their pick lands. But they might just select the quarterback, and then we get the quarterback controversy next year and see who gets what. And yeah, I guess that'll be fun next year. I just wish it was more situational with people realizing, like, if Patrick Mahomes was in the Bears right now and he's playing the way it is now, like if we traded Justin Fields for Patrick Mahomes before the season started, and Patrick Mahomes is still 2-2, and with the stats Fields has, like, are people really gonna call Patrick Mahomes trash? I mean, like, I just like it's more situational because yes, he is struggling, but he like almost has no choice to struggle. Like it's like he these are facts. You can look them up yourself. They're facts. You can look it up. The Chicago Bears have the worst rated wide receiver room across all football. We have Darnell Mooney, who is a wide receiver 2 guy, who's playing wide receiver 1. He hasn't really hit that wide receiver 1 threshold yet. Then we have St. Brown from the Packers, who's a nice, helping piece, but he's more of a like a three guy who can sometimes play two, and he's playing R2 right now. And then you have Byron Pingle from the Chiefs, who's a three guy, or was he a forward? Because you had Tyreek, then you had McCole Hardman, and then maybe it was Pringle at three. So he's kind of like a three guy, maybe 3-4 guy, and he's playing R3, but he only played like 1 week of football and got hurt. I forgot how long he's out for. So really, I don't even know if we would play in wide receiver three. I did see that Velvis Jones Jr., who is our rookie wide receiver, and he's like 24, 25 years old, so he's old. He's an old rookie. I guess offensively he had a better week of practice, and I guess is going to be considered more offensively. So we'll have a rookie at wide receiver three, who's kind of just short and fast again. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to do good when you have the worst wide receiver room across all sports. And not only that, the Bears have the 30th best offensive line, I think it was, or 30 or 31, I can't remember. Worst offensive line in football. Literally, there are plays, you can look it up wherever you want. There's plays where Justin Fields hikes the ball, and as soon as he takes one step backwards and looks up, the guy is already past our center and is in his face about to sack him. So he has no choice but to run or throw it out or force a pass, which may or may not be intercepted. Then there's other plays where he hikes it, he gets back, looks up, and nobody can get open. So he has to run for 10 yards and get a first down, or run for 5 yards and get a late hit. It's like, do you not watch football games? I question fans. Do they actually watch football games? Or do they just watch what the quarterback does every time? Or wait for the box score and look at the box score? I question some football fans. Do you guys watch football games? Really, from start to finish? Besides the Chicago Bears, I obviously watch the Kansas City Chiefs because Patrick Mahomes is my favorite quarterback in the NFL and has been since his first year starting. So I watched them and whatever kind of on TV. I watched a lot of the whatever game is next. I watched the Packers Patriots game the other weekend. I watched the Buffalo Bills Ravens game. I question if people are fans only just watching their game, or are they watching other games, or what? It's an obvious thing that Justin Fields is in one of the worst positions in football because of his team, and yet his name is the only name being dragged through the water. And it's kind of annoying, but you can only say so much and defend him so much until the point where you got to realize you're not changing people's opinions. Some people's are just not meant to be changed, and people are going to think what they want to think and say what they want to say. And that's life, So, kind of just have to take it under weather and go for the next week and hope he, I guess outperforms his horrible team. And I don't know. Thought he did a lot better last week, passing wise, but apparently he's still trash and can't ever get any credit for doing anything. Yeah, I think that kind of covers. I said the Bears, the Bulls, UNC, Yankees. Yeah, I've covered much everything. I guess we can. Yeah, that's everybody. Yeah. that's about everybody there. UNC just played Miami today, so um, if you're a UNC fan, get ready to watch that game. Uh, if you guys did like this podcast, this is just the first one. Me kind of just going over what teams I follow and what teams are most likely going to be brought up a lot throughout. Um, but like I said, there are going to be some where I insert, other topics like, a movie review if I went and go see some big movie or um, whatever is happening, you know, on Twitter or whatever, maybe whatever, Uh, if, yeah, so, I mean, there's going to be other topics as well, but it's just more of a who I follow type based and who I'm going to be talking about a lot. But this was just kind of like an intro episode podcast thing. Um, so yeah, if you guys did like this podcast or episode or whatever, if you guys did enjoy it, hit that red box that says subscribe. It does help out. Hit that like button on the video. That also helps out. Hit the notification bell so you know when the next one drops. And yeah, this has been your boy talking with Spice. Peace.